And we're live. Hey there. Thanks for joining and thanks for spending a little bit of your Friday with us here on the Fanboy Cantina. We are joined by special guest Chris Ryons from Broaxium and Broaxium Outpost. How are you doing today, sir?
A couple crazy things happening in Philly at the moment, but all things considered, things are as okay as they can be.
It's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's about as close as we can get.
yeah.
Hey, Mr. C. Oh man, we're going to do the round robin. You've had an interesting day too. How are you doing today?
Right. That's a horse of a whole other color. But let's hear. Sometimes distraction is good. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
levity is good. So let's uh,
Uh-huh.
let's lean into those elements of a conversation.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. So, thank you both for spending some time here and with everybody. Thank you all for watching too. If you haven't watched before, do us the YouTubey things and hit the like and subscribe and all of those things. So this is the Fanboy Cantina, and we every so often get together. And thrilled to have this moment to talk about forgotten '80s cartoon characters that really need some action figure love.
Yeah.
And we're joined in the middle square, rectangular shape by Mr. C. Mr. C, how are you doing? Now we tell us about where people can find you on the YouTubey stuff and who the heck are you?
Well, I'm the
Oh
guy
boy.
that needs the cough button on
Yes.
this channel, on his own channel. But Mr. C dives in,
Ah,
and we've just been doing all kinds of stuff around, and here we are.
yeah.
I'm not the Broaxium Outpost, but
No.
I'm learning to appreciate and becoming a relatively new fan of the Broaxium Outpost.
Absolutely. All right. Okay. And Mr. Ryans, tell folks about yourself if they don't already know already.
Sure.
Everybody should know
Yeah.
you.
I'm the co-founder of Broaxium and owner of Broaxium Outpost. Broaxium is a Star Wars Plus channel, as we call it, because we are mainly Star Wars, but we talk about other things, of course. A lot of things going around pop culture. So we've been doing that for 7 years now, and just last year, I started a toys and collectibles shop called Broaxium Outpost.
Mhm.
There you will find mostly Star Wars. The store is just like the channel, where it's mostly Star Wars, but there are other things that are there as well: Transformers, G.I. Joe, Masters of the Universe, some DC toys as well, as you know,
Yeah.
Greg, because one's in the mail flying its way to you right now. The
Yeah.
'78 Superman McFarlane figure.
Oh man. I can't
Um,
wait for that one. That was exciting.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, things are moving along, and I look for things to get better um, in this already turbulent year 2025.
Yeah.
So we will we'll see how things go.
Yes. This has been the longest year ever, and it's
And it's
only
only a
January.
month in.
Uh, and just to take a moment to chill for a hot minute here, this is
Oh
something that we
yes,
just recently featured on the Fanboy Cantina. This lovely comic combos set that I picked up from Broaxium Outpost. It's a lovely, lovely set that features the vintage collection, Dr. Afro, along with a couple of excellent Marvel Star Wars comics. So yes, yeah, awesome. And let's cover some of the comments. Oh yeah, Mr. C. Yes, let's go. I like the nightlife. And she's okay. All right.
You see, it's
Okay.
always saying "let's go," but who really takes it more a deeper dive into the lyrics of the Cars of the song title "Let's Go"? So, but now we
Ah,
got Shy Star coming with the "Let's Go."
very nice, very nice. And Mr. Jim Campbell, another Friday. I got to buddy a different reference to
David Lee Roth.
yeah, excellent. And I got some okay, the
Wow.
song lyrics just keep on coming. All right. And yes, how I wish I had the Blue Mandarin. And then hey there, Sandy Carrillo. Thank you for joining. And then yes, fits perfectly in the Fanboy Cantina. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. All right. So with this topic, I have some props. It's lovely that now with companies like, to a degree, Hasbro, to a degree, definitely Super 7 and NECA and even Playmobil, we're able to get toys for things that for franchises in the past that didn't exist before. So as an example, Mr. C, we've talked about this, which is the NECA, Ben Cooper action figures. I haven't jumped into the Super 7 Halloween action figures yet. That would have been more intuitive for me, actually, but I just love the look of this thing. I think it's just wonderful. So this is cool. And then most recently, Mr. C, we talked about all things Godzilla on your channel.
Yeah, we did.
So I love the Super 7 Shogun Warriors-ish box. And of course, we got to give props to Svengoolie. Did you have You did not have Svengoolie in your area, right? Did you have a horror franchise growing up, Chris R?
You said like a horror shop?
Yeah, it would like a horror show, like a horror TV show. Or did you have Svengoolie in your market?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember like watching that show or anything like that. So I don't know if I had access to it back in the day.
So but Elvira made it nationwide for many, many reasons. We'll just keep family friendly and say Elvira had many reasons for making nationwide. And there was regional guys around. So did you have a regional one that you had checked out growing up, or like pre-Mystery Science Theater making big? There was that same sense of sensibility of here. Let's play a movie. Let's do
the only thing I can think of. The only thing I can think of is for us. There was a local channel, Channel 17, one of the UHF channels, and I think it was every Saturday or every Sunday or both. It was a thing called Creature Double Feature, where they would have like these the monster movies and stuff like that play. So like Gojira and stuff like that would play like on those like 1 to 2 hour blocks they would have. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Awesome.
But outside of that, horror wasn't really ever my thing, except for like Hellraiser just like stuck with me like that. But yeah, I was never a big horror person outside of like the big stuff, Freddy Krueger, which is, that got goofy after a while. But yeah.
Eventually, someday, Mr. C and I have talked about a segment on either one of these channels about Greg hates horror movies. Horror movies is not a thing for me, and yet I find myself watching horror movies. It's like I don't like it, yet I like it, and so I don't know what to do about it. But So another thing is like, so this is actually 90s. The Wayne's World Pacer.
Oh my God!
This just came out. But it's kind of cool that these kinds of things exist, and I could not find. Somewhere I put away the more recent
Knight Rider.
Nice. This is the kind of thing I would have loved as a kid. And were there Knight Rider toys? Yeah. I think there was like a you pull on the thing, it was like evil.
Maybe a Hot Wheels or something.
Maybe a Hot Wheels or something.
Maybe. And if there was other Knight Rider stuff, it was only in recent years. I remember for the job I used to have at the Atomic City Comics in Philly. I used to order toys, all the toys and whatnot for that spot. And when I see some cool 80s nostalgia stuff, I will just bypass everything. But like, all right, I'm ordering that. Like, I don't care. Like, that's cool. So there was a Knight Rider, like, the kit car that came out, and it had the lights, it did the sound, die cast, that sort of thing. Then for diecast, it only cost like $40, which was not bad at all. But it was like maybe like 7, 8 inches. It was pretty good. It was pretty cool. Then recently, and I still have one in stock, is the Transformers collaboration series, where it's Transformers and Knight Rider, and as one thing, and it's Agent Knight is the name of the Autobot. And it looks so cool. Like, all right, so when it transforms, Like if you remember how Michael Knight looked, the leather jacket, sometimes the sunglasses, the jeans.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the color scheme of the other of Agent Knight when it's in robot form. Like like the legs are blue with like the black feet for boots.
Wow.
Black up here for like the leather jacket and like these sunglasses that he wear. It's phenomenal, and I only have one left.
Wow. So everybody
at the
go to the
get to clicking
clicking right now
and use that Fanboy Cantina.
That's right there.
Yeah, the scroll. The
Fanboy Cantina code is right down there at the bottom.
Yeah, if you pop that back up, you should you should be able to see it if you go to the Transformers section.
Oh, this is just the image that I've got. Oh, wait.
Oh,
I can do it the right way. Earlier, I was trying. This will be a good experiment for me of trying to do this. There we go.
Screen share, doing live.
Yes, doing the screen share. This is
it's easy.
Like this is the second time I've ever done this, and okay, is it sharing?
Yep,
it's up. You're right there.
Okay.
May the toys be with you.
Yes, exactly.
All products. Scrolling through.
If you scroll down to the Transformers collaboration, boom,
there we go. There we go. There's the collab. There it is. Oh, and you also have the Godzilla coming out.
Yep.
Very nice. Yeah, that looks
like he looks amazing. Look at
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is wild. Oh, it even has the wristwatch.
Yep.
That's amazing. All right. That is available now. It is currently in stock at Broaxium Outpost, down to one left.
One left.
Here. All right.
Last one.
So let's talk about our topic here. And I thought it was such a wonderful one, Chris, of forgotten 80s franchises that deserve that action figure treatment.
Yeah.
And one of the titles that we spoke about, oh yes, okay, so just in the comments, yes, it is an amazing website.
Thank you.
And okay, we got a little bit of a detour. I'm going to hold off on that one in the comments. But all right, so one of the things that we talked about here, Chris, is this show, which at first I did not remember that.
Yes. That's you want to talk about a show that for me as a kid, I was like, this beats Transformers. It was the Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers. The animation was amazing. I think it was a Japanese company that did the animation. Mm-hmm. The theme song, like if you're a fan of Top Gun, this theme song is it's right up there with it, and it's the best. I said what I said. It's the best animated cartoon 80s, 90s, whatever theme song of all time. It's these space cowboys with cybernetic enhancements, and they're trotting through the galaxy, stopping crime, and dealing with evil overlords and things like that. Like it was so good. I think Greg, I was saying to you the other day, it came on at the time where I had to leave for school.
Yeah.
The time that it came on, and I was late for school every day. Every day, because I don't know if maybe at that point I didn't know how to work the VCR right or something like I don't know, but I left. I left very late for school. I lived across the street from my school, and I was late every day because Galaxy Rangers came on at the time I had to really leave for school.
I did watch the first episode after we talked about it. I watched it. It's a good show.
How'd you like that theme song?
It's an excellent theme song. Yeah.
You know what you got to listen to? The end theme song, because the ending theme song is just as amazing. Oh, it's called Rangers Are Forever. It's So good.
I tell you though, I thought I got a little bit confused because when we're talking about, I first thought you were talking about the Saber Riders, which also has 4 people, also a Japanese cartoon.
Yeah.
You got a dude with a horse at least. So I thought it was this, but nah, that's a completely different.
Yeah, completely different.
Completely different show.
As much as I dig the Saber Riders, and I didn't watch it a whole lot back in the day. It wishes it was Galaxy Rangers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I probably going to make some people upset when I say
Is that a GoBots the Transformers parallel there? The one wishes it was on the level with the other?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. But Saber Riders is because GoBots was okay. But Saber Riders is a little bit better than GoBots. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that kind of absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh boy. And yes, we have Blue Sasquatch. Blue Sasquatch, hi. Welcome back. It's been a minute. Is this live? Yes, we are live. And yes, okay.
Salute to Blue.
Awesome. Hey, Mr. C, do you have any recollection of either of the 2 cartoons that we just put up?
No, but
no, that's okay.
Let me come with this. In a world before the largely successful Toy Story franchise, where you had a buddy cop picture between a cowboy Woody and an astronaut Buzz. Now, well before Toy Story comes around, now you have the cowboy and the space traveler all in the same thing instead of 2 separate characters. Brilliant.
Yeah, there are like archetypes. I think in these cartoons or in these shows, I think it's going to be like a bit of a theme. As another cowboy, so this one did have toys, but I feel like it's forgotten. It's Cops. I used to watch this show all the time, and then you've got another cowboy off to the side there, and then
that's the 80's for you, man.
That's the 80s.
I mean, Silverhawks had a cowboy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Cops did have a toy line, but like all right, for Galaxy Rangers, I'd love to see, even though they're kind of expensive, I'd love to see Super 7, probably NECA more preferably, but Super 7 or NECA get a hold of that and do something. I was going to say Hasbro, but they've got enough going on right now. But I would love to see that. There was a very, very, very limited run. I think it was only overseas or maybe in Canada and overseas that had a Galaxy Rangers toy run. And you can find them on eBay. You would just have to, like, remember we talked about that Death Star HasLabs?
Yes.
Maybe around that price for like 3 of those figures.
Oh, wow.
It's they go for a lot. But I'd love to see that get the modern action figure treatment. I think that would do wonders for the franchise and maybe bringing it back.
Could be a thing. Like I have, it's not actually in this picture. I have the from Japan, Bismarck, which is the robot. It's a spaceship. It's their headquarters ship, and then it transforms into a robot. I have that from that Saber Rider show. I picked it up in Japan in the 80s. But it's prohibitively expensive now to find such a thing on eBay. It's just not a thing. And I actually again, a little bit of a tangent, but I would love more affordable Battle of the Planets toys.
Yeah. I don't know when the last bit of those came out, but that could do for some. Gotcha Man could also
Gotcha Man
with the toy series. There is a current comic book line out for a Gotcha Man right now. They should do some toys to go along with that.
I just saw that on the shelf in beautiful downtown Skokie at Oh Yeah Comics, and I was very impressed by the colors on the comic pages being true to, or at least it's been a minute since I've seen it on the screen, but at least true in my memory to how the actual cartoon appeared on the television.
Yeah.
Awesome. And for folks watching, post in the comments about your forgotten 80s franchise that ought to get a some action figure love. Yeah, Blue Sox. Yeah, they're the first gangsters. Yeah, that's kind of right. I don't remember the villains for the cop show. That's a good question.
I mean, they were the gangsters. It was just
But like characters.
Yeah, there was. I think the main guy, and I forget because I know the main one from the cops team, like the head of the division was like VP Ness or something like that, like an Elliot Ness kind of thing. I think that's what his name was. I think. And then their main villain, sounded like the old 40s gang. Yeah, see, that whole thing. Right. It sounded like that, but I can't remember the names of those characters. I just know they were painfully 80s in the best way possible.
Painfully 80s. That's a good experience. That's right.
In the best way possible.
So you took me back as we were talking about this, Chris R. I used to love this show.
Yeah.
I have not thought about this until you mentioned it.
And it just hit me. The name of the show hit me before I could even visualize it when we were talking. And that's the one that's got like the live action component to it, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me toys of them too. I'll take them. Any Gen Xer, please. We'll eat that stuff up.
I'd like toys of the figures. Along with that, they had a vehicle, right? Wasn't the vehicle? It was like their Subaru pickup truck, and it turned into this spaceship thing. And then there was
that makes sense. I don't remember, like but that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So give me the vehicles too to go with it. I need the whole experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think speaking of vehicles that turn into stuff or not Transformers, because we know they've got many toys. One that I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't know if I like this, but it stuck with me. It was Turbo Teen. It's just this kid who had an accident, and now he can turn into a car. I don't know how painful that is for him to to turn into I would imagine just like unholy screams as he's transforming, just blood curdling screams to as he morphs or transforms into this car to it's
crazy. Pretty freaky.
Yeah
his face like gets stretched out and becomes the
how are you not in pain? Like that's just like the entire transformation. Like he should be afraid. He's like, oh no, I have to turn into a car. Oh, okay. He just have to oh, all right, let me do this, and then all of his organs change into that of a car.
He wasn't Plastic Man or something. He was just some poor unfortunate kid that's now being mangled.
Definitely not Plastic Man.
Nope.
And I think it's time to borrow the turn of the phrase from Jim Campbell. I need to go into a Capone's vault on this and see how much influence did they take from live action Auto Man of that same relative era, but then flip the prior generation. Was it My Mother the Car, or was the black and white live non-cartoon show? How much influence did it pull from the one? How much influence did it pull from the other? It's a very niche experience.
They were definitely backing off Transformers at the time for sure. They were like, this is going to be money. It turns into a car. Come on, it's a kid. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I'm sure all that those other shows factor into it. Gotta.
TriStar G asks, I've never heard of these cartoons. Would they be bought and played in regional? We're from the same city, man. I've seen these shows. These shows.
Oh yeah, they were definitely nationally aired.
They were definitely national. Yes, it turned the kid turns into a car. He gets mangled, and
see his face turn into a car, and his skin turns red, and it looks like it's a horrifying ordeal.
It's gonna hurt.
But he's like, let me just do this and save the day, and it's weird. And his friend's sitting him. It's weird.
It's just weird.
It's weird.
And no, he didn't. It wasn't like Gizmo. He didn't need to get
No,
wet.
he wasn't Ranma, but yeah, he just
Yeah.
like, I gotta go do this thing. Let me just and just totally just change it to a car.
It's so bad. Oh. Yes, if I was trying, I'd drive the other way too. Yeah, and no, I don't think it needs a reboot. No.
Can you imagine with the technology we have today?
It'd be horrifying.
How? Yeah, that would I would vomit on every transformation. I would. No, again. Yeah.
Oh boy! And hey there, Mandarin.
Oh, all right. Now we've got Mandarin and Blue Sasquatch back together for the first time in I don't know how many years. But you Mandarin, Blue Sasquatch, Jim Campbell, and Chai Star, and somehow with this fully packed comment section, we managed to take a rather innocuous cartoon which did not have a great longevity.
No.
Yes.
And do an examination of the body horror element.
And if we're talking about horror movies, it could be a reboot it could be a reboot as a horror series.
Oh yeah.
And he has to go do something, and he's got to. Oh
my goodness!
Just right go through that. Oh man,
you got to pitch that to Blumhouse right now. I can picture it.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's the A24.
A24
waiting to happen. Oh man.
Speaking of body horror, I watched The Substance, and I can't handle that kind of stuff.
That Demi Moore?
Yeah, Demi Moore. And,
I've never seen it. Yeah.
Andy McDowell's daughter. I didn't realize that was. Can't remember her name. Yes, Korean barbecue is always nice, and yes, it's absolutely a party. All right. So I'm going to throw up on the screen, not throw up, thinking about Turbo Team here.
Yeah.
But Mr. T.
Yes. I love that show.
God, I love this picture.
Yes. It's so positive.
It's so positive.
Look at that. That's
and there's possibilities here.
Yeah. They were pitching us a bright future back in the 80s.
We've gone from body horror to body positivity.
Yeah,
the team of competitive acrobats and athletes, and he was there to take them on adventures.
Yep. He had his little mini-me with him and his little mini-me dog. It was great.
So I'll be honest with you. I remember, obviously, Mr. T, and I kind of remember the kid. I do remember the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember whatever Evil Knievel or Bruce Jenner action is happening in the back. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they were secondary. They were secondary to the.
Like they were traveling around. They were like going to different.
They're like buddies.
Kind of like a Scooby Gang. Kind of like other things have pulled that traveling aspect as well. The live action Shazam, they drive around in the Winnebago, but they were going from competition to competition and
solving crimes,
trying to right wrongs along the way.
Yeah, it's nothing like a crime fighting troupe of gymnasts and Mr. T to help save the day. Nothing beats that, and the toy world missed out on having those toys. We got the cereal. We got the cereal.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think we ever got the toys for that one. That'd have been a great thing. If anyone out there has ever watched the the intro for that show, Mr. T has superpowers apparently, because he I think he punches a shark in the face or an alligator. I think he throws an alligator like 20 feet in whatever direction, and he punches a shark in the face. He's unstoppable. He could be Batman.
Yeah.
There, I said it.
He could be Batman. That would be good. Yes, the Mandarin is an international person. I pity the fool. Yes, absolutely. And yes, Mr. T is from Chicago. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah, there was the controversy about the trees. That is super obscure. But yes, Toronto's playing the Bulls. Doesn't look good. And yes, all right, a whole lot of. Yeah, that's right. Out in Lake Forest, Illinois. Yeah,
wow.
Remember that.
If Mr. T did it, he had a reason, and those trees were probably villains in disguise.
They had it coming.
That he and his gymnast troupe were going to take care of. So that's probably what happened. You know, don't believe everything you read in the paper.
That's right. That's right. Yes, loved Mr. T back in the day. All right. So then another franchise. I don't think this counts, but I don't understand how there were never D&D toys back in that era.
Yeah.
Like in the Chicago market, it ran for quite a long time, even after the series ended. So we were just regurgitating, the reruns over and over again. I really enjoyed that show, and there were so many possibilities.
Yeah, and it's crazy that we got nothing as far as toys go until very recently.
Yeah,
in the past 5-7 years, maybe.
I think like a couple of years. You can still get them in on Target online.
Mm-hmm.
I would have picked them up, but I heard so many negative things about the build quality, like legs and stuff like falling apart for some reason. But yeah, would have been good 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Similar to Mr. T, and now similar to Dungeons and Dragons, right? Mr.
Oh
T,
my God.
there was cereal. There was no shortage of Mr. T product between Rocky, between 18, between his cartoon, between his talk show appearances. No shortage of Mr. T related product, but nothing that was directly licensed or associated with the cartoon. And then somewhat similarly, Dungeons and Dragons as a role-playing game existed well before the cartoon, but there was no direct link to the actual Saturday morning show product or
absolutely, absolute truth. Like I just got in, and I'm not trying to just like randomly plug the store.
No, we should.
But I
plug.
I just got in Clubber Lang Funko Pops.
Yes, it's on the site.
Yeah, so I got those in. Like I like over here, like in my room, I have a Clubber Lang statue that I got, and a B.A. Baracus Funko Pop that I have like next to it. So there's those, like you're saying, Mr. C. There's that stuff like crazy. Everything but stuff from the cartoon. It's time. It's time to rectify.
It's time.
Again, Super 7, NECA, absolutely. Hasbro, not so much. They've got their hands full.
They got
Joe Transformers or whatever. Yeah, all that stuff. Come on.
Well, yeah, just a little bit on that. Mr. C, you shared with me, I missed the article about it. Shifts happening over at Hasbro right now. Seems like some pullback on toys. And
that was Chystar dropping that article in the group text. And it seems that according to the report, which we have no firsthand knowledge of, just we're, secondary or tertiary sources of information here, that Hasbro seems to say they're going to focus more on games. Now, I didn't, commit the article to memory. Was that Chystar? If you still have the article right there and your fingers can do some walking, I don't know. Is it more board games or more electronic games, or what constitutes?
I think video games. Yeah, electronic. Okay. Yeah, video games.
So it's an interesting shift. And now let me just as a group, at a time where Toys R Us is gradually reopening here and there, as just in right over here on the northwest side of the Windy City, we've got an actual Toys R Us open again. So I don't know at what rate the rollout or the reclaiming or how limited it would be, but it's kind of an interesting juxtaposition that here comes the premier brick and mortar toy store making a comeback, but on the heels of that, Hasbro is pulling back from product to have on the shelves.
Yeah, I would agree that there are like Hasbro releases, like just for the action figure line alone, not even like the children's stuff and games and things like that. They release so much. Like I would get notifications daily about different releases coming up and whatnot for like the G.I. Joe Classified series, Black Series, Vintage Collection, the Transformers, all the different series of Transformers. They do a lot, and I don't know if sales are going that great for everyone all across the board, like it was maybe a few years ago. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I could see that being the case. They're not going to stop. It's just it's going to slow down a bit. Which I hope for the sake of like for Star Wars and stuff, that this doesn't mean that they're going to cut down on the variety of characters that they bring out, because they do keep it kind of close knit. I would hope that they still are able to expand and do characters from like the High Republic and things like that. That would be awesome. But yeah, I could see it. I could see it slowing down. That announcement doesn't surprise me at all.
I mean, the chilling effect that kind of stuff out there is worrisome, because exactly to your point, there's so many characters in the Star Wars universe that deserve to be realized.
Yeah.
And, I'm kind of done with all of the Mandalorian iterations. Here he's dirty, here he's not dirty, here he's, now he's got the Beskar armor, now he's got the spear, but no, it doesn't have the spear. And
he's got the dark saber, and then
I'm good at this point. And so other characters like, these are nice. These are great, right? And you are going to have Skeleton Crew back in stock again, right? Or is that?
Yeah. I had
you sold out earlier.
Yeah, I had some kind of a shipment thing with my distributor. But yeah, I'm taking care of that, and I'll get some more back in.
Awesome. Yeah. So like, would be great to have new characters, but this is kind of worrisome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then let's see. So what is it? This is big shift happening under the new CEO who came from. So this is the quote, and he said, he sees gaming as the largest potential source of growth for the company. Yeah. So, and that's right. I remember this part as well in the article, that the biggest change is the Power Rangers brand, where it's not even being made.
Yeah.
It's being
the Lightning. They haven't done the Lightning collection in a year or so, and that's unfortunate, because that's something you can just keep going with that. And they decided to. I get it. I guess if things aren't selling, they no matter how good it is, they just drop it and don't come back to it. Acolyte. So it's crazy.
It's crazy. All right, so Mr. C, you had posted. We just chit chat a little bit before, and then I'll go to what our earlier topic was. But I don't remember the show.
Neither do I.
Well, then it does. Then I did understand the assignment of forgotten shows. Yeah. So again, as you said, the 80s, and so there were some things that began late 70s and carried through into the 80s, and I wanted to give a context for why was there this shift, right? So let's just say, right, Scooby-Doo, there weren't really in the 70s through the 80s, there weren't really Scooby-Doo figures, at least not like there are now, but there was a hell of a lot of other Scooby stuff. But as far as actual toys, right, there was no Mystery Machine that was, with a 5-pack. Okay. Similar. So just giving context, but not going into the full on politics of it. In the early 80s, certain things changed as far as regulations for marketing and toys and cartoons. And that's what gave us the golden age, or the golden era, if you will, of the 80s, where came to pass, and I'm doubling back to the image we had up through Filmation. But so in Filmation, right, you had He-Man, and then the He-Man spin-off to She-Ra, and then
is that me or him?
And you had the Transformers. So all these things were toys and cartoons together, and right, so many people our age, a little older, a little younger, people around our time ate it all up, and it was an important part of growing up. But now, before that regulation change started to manifest, you would have all these different shows that you nailed it, sir. Good, perfect timing. So right, this was you had a Hercules character, you had a Sinbad, you had an Isis, you had a wizard, you had a samurai. So to me, and from Filmation production, like before Filmation was He-Man, so now you had all this different like international representation, so roughly just a little bit after the time that I'll pull a comic book reference. So here comes Giant Size X-Men #1, and instead of featuring the OG, the first 5 X-Men, now you're taking the characters from all the different lands, and so in a way, so there was a lot of representation and a lot of, as we're saying, archetypes and power sets. And to me, it was just the coolest blend. But again, as far as toys that did not come to the shelves or the aisles, if these guys were in any kind of a toy, it's beyond me.
Wow. Yeah. Now I need to look that up and see that. I find it cool that you know that there are shows that I missed from back in the day that I can watch and enjoy. One of those for me was something that my best friend had turned me on to. This was like 15, maybe 20 years ago. It's called Ulysses 31, and it was a French series, but it was Japanese animated, and it had historical context, like you know the Greek, it was like Greek mythology and things like that to it. If you can find it, look it up. It's so good. Like you know, Ulysses was out in space because they gave it a science fiction motif, and like I said, the animation was fantastic. But yep, there it is. There it is.
Excellent navigation, there, Fanboy.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
That's a really neat concept to base it on.
Can you read the premise? Because I can't see it from here. Can you read that premise?
The premise of the series follows the struggles of Ulysses and his crew against the divine entities that rule the universe, the ancient gods from Greek mythology. That's a really neat idea. I have not heard of this show.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Like I was like, they made this for kids, but then I was like, it's the 80s, so I mean, like we there were a lot of those properties that we had to grow up a little sooner than we wanted to with some of the stuff that came out back then. Nothing like raunchy or anything like that. Just like dealing with death and some of the dialogue from like G.I. Joe or Transformers, stuff like that.
Yeah. And yes, TriStar G. Yes, that was a very eclectic setup in that Sentinels.
That was.
And then, where Mr. Ryons, where did you grow up?
Oh, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. Like I moved around a lot, but King of Prussia is like where I mostly lived. King of Prussia was still is, but 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia, and that's where I spent like the bulk of my childhood. So yeah.
I can't say I've ever personally been to Philadelphia. I need to fix that.
Just not right now. There was a plane crash, but
it literally just. But you're okay, and your family's okay, and
thankfully,
okay.
Thankfully.
Good golly, it's scary times out there. Yeah, what channels were these on? That's a great question.
Well, our channels are going to be different.
Yeah, sure.
For me, it was let's see, Channel 29, which I think turned into Fox later on, like late 80s, early 90s. That's where like Transformers and all that was. Channel 17, which I said before, had the Creature Double Feature. They had them, and then a newer station that came on late 80s called Philly 57, which later turned into UPN, which later turned into CW. Yeah.
What channels were we with?
Well, just to jump from that, so in the 50s, right? So that same time, first we had channel 60, but then it moved over to channel 50,
right?
And then that became the UPN affiliate, and again, then with the merger, CW. So it's interesting that they were up there around the same, Jersey number that they were representing. In that way.
Yeah. With okay, so I'm gonna try to keep us in an hour if we can. So we got with a little bit of lightning round here, Mr. C. We talked about this on your channel, the Godzilla franchise, and I think as I said that I kind of remember it. I remember Godzilla and Godzuki in the beginning intro, and then I kind of don't remember anything else about the show.
Right, exactly. So this was just kind of fresh in my head from the recent show we did over by me and included some Godzilla talk. But again, so this was a show that started in 78, carried through to 80, did not have a great longevity, did not have a great many episodes. And as we know, Godzilla merchandise is completely ubiquitous now, but even back in the day, we weren't short on Godzilla merchandise in any kind of a way. I was going to pull.
Yeah, I got my little itty bitty Godzilla with the
perfect
the flame effect.
But right there, as best of my recollection, they're walking through Toys R Us at the time before our contemporary online options exist, such as Broaxium Outpost. Get your Fantina discount code right there. Anyway, so back in the day, I don't remember Godzilla figures coming around, but as you had referenced to Ben Cooper, and just to catch Chris up on this, I knew that this guy was made in Hong Kong from my youth, but then I didn't realize, and I don't think it's really going to capture the fine print, but this is a Ben Cooper product made in Hong Kong, not made in China, not made in Taiwan, but made in Hong Kong from Ben Cooper from 1974.
That's cool.
I would have never imagined they made stuff other than masks and costumes.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Archivists we are.
Yeah. Chris, I don't remember the list.
I do. I remember watching it. I wasn't like a huge fan, but that was another one of those things that came to mind. That like these rare 80s cartoons thing that could definitely use it. The treatment that could use the toy treatment. Why not?
Why not? Well, and Bionic 6 did have toys.
They did. Oh, I missed that.
But I don't. They did back in the day. Mm-hmm. I think. But I don't remember anything about the show.
Yeah, it was animated Super Sentai, kind of a thing. But yeah, it's this is Bionic 6. I'm trying to remember the theme song for that one. It was a family of 6 people. KB. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it was a family of 6 people, and they, in the futuristic family, and they would fight the forces of evil as what happened in the 80s. And they could transform like they not transform, but they had like mechs and mech suits and powers and things like that. Yeah. Mostly I just remember, just like with Thundercats, mostly it's about the intro.
Yes.
The Thundercats cartoon was cool, but it's the intro. It's definitely the intro. But the Bionic 6 one, yeah.
I love the intro for Jason the Wheeled Warriors, which was robots and plants.
Yeah.
And it had the most amazing theme song. And then I could not tell you anything about the rest of the.
Yeah, that's another one that escaped me that I never watched as a kid. I didn't find out about that show until like my mid-20s.
It's a wonderful. The animation is really great, at least in the intro. But again, I couldn't tell you. All right, so this is like a theme. Yeah, what are your thoughts on cosplay during a live stream? And would it be cool to see me and the other and Mr. C dress up? Yes, need fanboy, and that's
like it sounds like there's a lot of pressure going on with that.
It's a theme. It's a theme over.
I mean, hey, I have nothing against cosplay.
Yeah,
I've cosplayed as Lando Calrissian. Well, my version of Lando Calrissian, but yeah, go for it. That's
my first memory of Chris Ryons on YouTube.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yes. Yeah. That I'm not gonna say that needs to come back because I don't want to dress in cosplay on this thing, but I am wearing a Star Wars hoodie.
Alec Guinness.
Yeah. So
nice.
I got that. That's about as far as I go. Yes. Okay. Yes. There's a vote of agreement here. Okay. All right. So last couple here. I used to love this show. I remember. So in Chicago, I lived in a 2-flat. Mr. C, I think you lived in a 3-flat. So
no, same as you, guy.
Was it 2-flat too?
Again, your memory is. But go ahead.
2 flats. So we both used to live in 2 flats where actually another member of the family was on a different floor. And so in the 80s, I would wake up. I would go up to my grandma and grandpa's place upstairs, and And my grandma would make me lunch, which was fantastic. And I'd watch Thundar the Barbarian, which I think was around the 11 or 11:30 time slot back in the day.
It was later.
And I feel like it's a completely forgotten franchise. There are some like themes or those archetypes again. You got kind of the Wookiee-ish character, and you got kind of the psychic character, which is kind of like the psychic character in Galaxy Rangers kind of thing. It's just it's an art. These themes. Personalities.
As a kid, I was always like, okay, so that's He-Man, Luke, and then he's got Chewie with him. And Magic Leia, like everything equated to Star Wars for me. So that's how I looked at that.
Right,
it's cool.
Your measuring unit, your universal translator, by way of Star Wars, this achieves that which it does achieve.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, it does fit into the Thundar the Barbarian, right? The future, the comet come, the moon splits, future of science and super sorcery, or some paraphrasing on that for the opening dialogue for the show. Absolutely, the figures were not there. So let me go. So now they are maybe a little bit elusive, but they can be found in some kind of plastic format. They can definitely be found on the Casual Crafter channel. Our other pal, Casual Crafter, did some customization on the Mego style or Figures Toy Company style for these characters. And then a lot of the character design came from Alex Toth. But then at the time where Jack the King Kirby had enough of Marvel and DC kicking him around, then he went the way of character designs for that show. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section later, but Steve Gerber, who is the creator of Howard the Duck, was doing a lot of the scripting on Thundar. And again, we were rerun heavy as kids when we were kids. 1 season or 2 seasons of a cartoon was a greater percentage of our life than 1 or 2 seasons is now.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, for me, you wish they had been around longer. Your Thundars, your live action Buck Rogers, your BJ and the Bear live action. I remember them for longer, but they were Battlestar Galactica, the original. Yeah. These were shorter things, and then also coming back to cartoons. Johnny Quest, which then would get revisited across the years, but the original Johnny Quest was a 1-season show out of the gate in the 60s, which then replayed into the 80s. Yeah. And I'll say also that there was Johnny Quest this and that, but there were not Johnny Quest figures available back in the day.
Yeah, and I think they did Thundar, and I mean, like, maybe recently in the past, like, I want to say time. Listen, I'm about to be 50. Time is so 2 years, I could be like, oh, it's a couple years back. Like, no, that was 2010. Like, oh, I think there were Thundar figures. I don't know if it was.
I'm looking.
Yes, it was Super 7. No,
it's Toynami.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was a Funko Pop because, of course, there is.
Yeah, Funko. Yeah, they don't.
All the
they don't miss.
Yeah. Okay. Quick last two, which I kind of don't think counts, is a Great Space Coaster.
I was just listening to this theme song this morning. Give me a Gary Gnu figure right now.
Yes,
because no Gnu's is good Gnu's.
Good news.
With Gary Gnu.
That's awesome. How are there not toys? How are there not? There's like.
Are we sure? Oh, were there?
There is a independent, right, or something, Mr. C. Somebody made something of Gary Gnu.
Yes, I don't remember exactly, but let me go in this direction.
Yeah.
Did in fact the Great Space Coaster precede David Letterman in his ascension to the late night show? In other words, did David Letterman take influence from the snarky witticisms of Gary Gnu? I'm going to go yes.
I'm going to go yes.
And say yes.
Yes.
Letterman incorporated the Gary Gnu persona. There it is.
There it is.
Big Bad Toy Stores got them. I'm
Really?
advertising. I'm advertising for the. I can't even call myself competition, but I am not competition for Big Bad Toy Store. But they have something. They have it's a Gary Gnu figure.
Oh my god!
I don't know if you get.
Yeah. I might need to army build.
Look at that! Look at that style.
You got some GNU troopers.
The GNU army, yes.
Plastic Meatballs, name of the company, and
wow,
are these in stock? These are in stock. I gotta find a new distributor and get these. Wow.
Oh man. All right. Well, okay. So we should wrap up, but last thoughts of things that we haven't covered here, of things that would desperately deserve the
Mr. Ed.
The which one?
Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed.
Am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one. I'm not.
No. I know what Mr. Ed is. I'm trying to think of it in color or black and white.
Oh man, no variants. Variants. You do the black and white. You do black and white as like the base. Then you have color variants of Wilbur and Mr. Ed, and have the barn. Oh my god!
I was going to say the set would then be with the barn.
Yeah. And why stop there? Dennis the Menace needs one.
Wow, that's a
now
good
your
one.
universe building. Your universe. Now you got a crossover between Dennis the Menace and Mr. Wilson over here, and Mr. Ed, and then
the Menace verse. Yeah, it's great. Let's all talk about this. We're gonna make a pile of money, guys.
Oh,
make it rain.
Well, we got some additions here yes. Mr. C, I should have covered this. You mentioned this. Spider-Man and his amazing friends. How were there no toys back in the day?
Oh, back in the day, yeah. There were. I think it was part of that old Marvel Secret Wars.
Iceman and Firestar?
Yeah, Iceman and Firestar, yeah. I think those came, let me check to make sure. I know there are some that came out in recent years.
I have
Marvel
that
Legends.
set.
Yeah.
I have that Marvel Legends box set, which is sheer perfection. I love that one. That is an excellent one. Chester G, I'm not sure what you're referring to at the backing board. That's amazing. But
and it's my own nomination.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even realize to pull prop. So and here, just let me take a shot at
That's
Super
nice.
7.
Nice.
How can Super 7 be the exact same size as these guys, and these will go for $10 or $12, but as Marvel Legends. But Super 7's got to be double the price. But anyway, so there's Firestar. I got Iceman, but I'm saying back in the day. So, and again, I could be wrong because it's a long time and I don't remember, but I don't think it was like with the logo of the show.
Yeah.
In 80, 81, 82, I don't remember figures with the logo. Now, could have been after the fact when they got to Secret Wars, and Secret Wars did whatever, Wave 3 or Wave 4 or what have you, that they might have worked the characters in, but then it would have been under the Secret Wars banner. So again, that's the recurrent theme. A lot of these cartoons, there was plenty of Spider-Man product out there, just not directly attached to and his amazing friend.
Show.
Yeah. I'm looking now and I do not see any. At least from back in the day, unless it's got to be Secret Wars.
I think with the box, I don't have it handy here. I think with the box, it's got this art or the figures positioned in that way.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. You got it. Yes, that's it. Well, okay, that's exactly it. Right.
Man, they look.
That is perfection.
It's an amazing set. I wish I would have kept one for myself.
And also for my younger self, like whatever years ago when I was watching that. And then there's I first saw X-Men on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
I think Wolverine had an Australian voice actor at the time, which it's kind of funny.
Which jumping 20 years after the fact, really funny. And so as a total point of obscurity, the only previous X-Men appearance, they weren't even called X-Men, but it was the Marvel. It wasn't actually stop motion, but it was that lesser animated, less frame rate, less. It just kind of stop motiony. But
motion
they
comics.
They had some other name. They weren't called X-Men, and they were like a guest star, but not billed. But so anyway, the first 5 X-Men did appear in the yellow and blue or yellow and black, but as far as a proper X-Men appearance, Spider-Man, as we're in Campbell's corner, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was the first actual appearance of the newer X-Men, of the Uncanny X-Men, as they appeared with the greater numbers on their roster.
That is amazing. I somewhat recently watched an episode of Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and I did not remember all of the cameos or other Marvel characters that appear in it. It was amazing. It was really great.
Yeah.
And I definitely do want to wrap up, but then specifically when there were a lot of good guest stars. Then you could have had a Magneto figure with that. Yeah. You could have had a Doctor Doom figure, and perhaps, well, not I want to say my singular favorite, but the X-Men episodes are definitely amongst my favorite. The 7 little superheroes where they went against the Chameleon, but then you had your Captain America, your Submariner, your Doctor Strange. It was a guest star packed show. So just the possibility of getting the supporting cast characters through that 10-year-old me would have been all over it, and current age me would have to take pause and check those out in the toy aisle.
Awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Thank you both for doing this. This was a lot of fun.
I had a great time.
We covered a lot of franchise. I have not thought about them in literally decades. And now I gotta watch Great Space Coaster.
Get on board.
I looked today when I said I was listening to it earlier today. I was like, for some reason, I thought about that show, and I was like, is there a extended full version of that song? Because that's the kind of song that can go on for literally ever as a track, and I would just sit there listening to it as the years go by. Like it's that good. Not as good as the Galaxy Rangers theme song, because that is
there's like endless through the miracle of TikTok, or not through the wonderful. I'm not going to call it one because it's out there. There's like trap music versions of like Star Wars themes, or there's some really awesome. Somebody could take the Great Space Coaster and just make it current. Just do you could have the heavy metal version. You could have the dance remix version, the perpetual loop. That
that's all I need. Just give me a loop.
Whatever it is.
I would love to see that. But anyone else, you guys out there listening, after this, just type in Adventures of Galaxy Rangers theme song, intro, and outro. You will not be disappointed. I swear it'll brighten your day wherever you are, wherever you're at. I'm telling you.
Awesome. All right, so let's wrap it up. And so, Mr. Ryons, where can people find you, and where can people shop on your site?
Oh, well, you can always find me at Broaxiumoutpost.com. Use the promo code Fanboy Cantina to get yourself 10% off your first order. You can find me on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, sort of ish, and of course on YouTube at Broaxium. You can find me there for sure. Yep, all the time.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yes, definitely. Everybody use I got to point the other way. That way. Use the promo code that's scrolling down here at the bottom for your first purchase. You're going to buy this stuff anyway, so you might as well go to Broaxium Outpost.
We're going to go to Amazon. Target, forget them.
Come on. Do the right thing.
Support small business.
And Mr. C, where can people find you?
Mr. C dives in on the YouTubes. Also, I'm hanging out most frequently in the subreddit on Reddit in the Svengoolie group, and then some other things, but that's my main hangout of the Reddit. And let me see, tell me, start the day, and I'm going to be a 33.3 on the screen with a Chris Ryons and a Fanboy. It's going to be a good day. But now add in the icing to the cake that we're going to have. I'd have to scroll way back to check the timestamps, but the first time we're going to have Mandarin and Blue Sasquatch in the comment section for the same show.
Yeah.
It's been at least a couple years, so there's some icing on that cake. Now you bring in your Jim Campbell and your Chai-Star G, and the comment section, as it does always, gave us treasure and much wealth and gold today. So
it's a beautiful
great way to close out a week and close out a day. But let us transition back. Fanboy G, obviously we're right here on the Fanboy Cantina channel. So what else have you?
Well, do all the YouTube-y things if you could, but definitely check out Mr. C Dives In and Broaxium. If you're not already subscribing to Broaxium, you got to check them out, and definitely check out the shop as well. I was going to say shop at the shop, and then I was like, and I slurred my speech.
It's all right.
Just work on.
Got more leg room for your legs.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for watching, and do us a favor. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thanks for spending a little bit of your Friday with us, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. This has been the Fanboy Cantina. Thanks, Chris. Thank you.
Over
and out.